Oh, that was so nice. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Daniel Pineda.
My name's Adele Quo.
Well, as you probably guessed, there has been a power outage in the area, and it has affected quite a lot of Arlington concerns, including our very own Arlington Independent Media, where we record the Arlington Weekly News. In fact, according to the latest report, 1,641 customers in the Arlington area are without power. This is as of about midnight coming into Wednesday, August 7th. There were other areas affected, not quite as severely. The McLean area had about 55 customers without power. Springfield had 2, and the Great Falls area had a whopping total of 3. So I guess Arlington just got lucky this time. However, here at Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News, the show must go on, and it will go on with this little homemade version. We have the usual lineup for tonight: news, followed by Easy Being Green, although Adele is not here to read it. The content will still be there. This will be followed by Community Bulletin Board, or CBB. Then we have a double roll-in, Denise Pringle reviewing Treasure Island and also The Producers. This is followed by News for Seniors, and then a kind of a special feature getting us all ready for the Arlington County Fair that is coming up very shortly. That is our program for tonight. Just to make everybody feel at home, let's go to Daniel Pineda doing the social media reminder.
You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News. And the number 1. Also facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News, and also on the radio.
Also on the radio, 96.7 LP WERA. Check us out.
And now it's time for the news. One More Page Books, the site of live appearances by local authors such as Charlie Clark, has just been hit with a 30% increase in rent. The reason for the rent increase is twofold. First, there was an increase in the assessed valuation of the condominium that houses One More Page Books from, get this, $2,351,100 in the year 2018 to $4,907,500 in 2019. That is an increase that more than doubled the taxable amount. Added to that was the increase to the tax rate that the county board just approved. Now, the owner could have appealed the assessment with the county's Board of Equalization, but chose not to. Generally, the cost of property tax increases is simply passed along to the tenant, so there was little incentive for the owner to contest the valuation. Moving along to the remedy. Independent bookstores like One More Page have a disadvantage compared to some other retailers. Their books come from the manufacturer with the price already printed on them, so there's no practical way to pass along the facility's increased costs. However, One More Page is holding what they describe as a silent auction fundraiser to help them remain in business. The fundraiser already began on August the 2nd, but it will last through August 18th at 5:00 p.m. So far, the items available include artwork, chocolates, bike tours, handmade goods, and, for authors out there, book manuscript consultations. As for the future of One More Page, in spite of an encouraging outpouring in public support for the little store, intermittent influxes of cash may not be enough if the core business itself proves to be unsustainable due to the rent increase. If that proves to be the case, then the only other bookstore in Arlington will be Clarendon's Barnes & Noble, which is actually part of a chain. Considering the assessment process, Arlington County's website gives some details on this. One section lists what they call the cost approach, which is based on how much it would cost to replace a property with current materials and labor costs, even if that property was built 50 years ago at a much lower cost. The alternative is called the income approach, and that's based on how much income the property would produce if it were rented as an apartment, a factory, a store, or some other concern, usually a business. Property investors would be incentivized to rent to businesses with high profit margins to boost future sale prices. Low-margin stores, like bookstores, would need to relocate elsewhere. And now it's time for It's Easy Being Green. Welcome to It's Easy Being Green. Even though I am not Adele Quo, she has written this message. Batfest is back, and battier than ever, with live shows presented by Leslie Sturges, director of the Save Lucy campaign, which was created to protect and conserve bats in this region. Explore our local nightlife by expanding knowledge of local bat species and the devastating impact of white noise syndrome on North American bats. Learn why bats are not scary. Save the date, August 24th, 2019. Family-friendly batty activities will be ongoing from 6:30 through 9 o'clock with habitat walks, games, crafts, and much more. For information, call 703-228-3403. You can meet at the Gulf Branch Nature Center. Registration for one of the live bat talks is required. You can register online at https://parks.arlingtonva.us/gulf-branch-nature-center/, or just call 703-228-4747. There's an activity number, 642-859-I, J, or K. I think if you call them, they'll be able to help you out. Ask for the stuff about bats. Despite extensive press coverage to the contrary, bats are still widely believed by people to be dangerous, when in fact bats are very important to many species of plants around the world. Many people are unaware that over 500 plant species rely on bats to pollinate their flowers. Without nectar-feeding bats, there will be no mango, banana, dates, figs, cocoa, guava, or agave. So the next time you eat some chocolate or enjoy a margarita with tequila, say thanks to the bats. There's even a word for the pollination of plants by bats, chiropterophily. And no, bats won't suck your blood. Our local bats only eat insects and are excellent natural pest controllers, able to eat thousands of blood-sucking mosquitoes and other insects per hour every night. To attract bats to your moonlight garden, plant night-blooming, night-scented flowering plants. Our native plants that attract bats and other night pollinators include Clethra alnifolia, or summer sweet, Eurybia divaricata, or white wood aster, Hydrangea arborescens, or wild hydrangea, Enothera biennis, or evening primrose, Phlox paniculata, or garden phlox, Anemonella thalictroides, or rue anemone, Viburnum nudum, or smooth viburnum, Tiarella cordifolia, or foam flower, Trillium grandiflorum, or white trillium. If you give local bats access to food, water, and shelter, they will provide you with a lifetime of free pest control. So remember, it's easy being green. I want to thank Adele Quo for sending in that story. Now we move along to Community Bulletin Board, which was submitted by Jordan Kucharski. The Traveling Players Middle School Ensemble will be performing Moliere's classic play, The Doctor in Spite of Himself. It's a satire of French medicine in the 17th century. This play features crazy characters and ridiculous situations. The show is aimed at elementary and middle school students, but the whole family can enjoy it as well. This free performance is taking place on Thursday, August 15th, from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. in the loft at the Cherrydale Branch Library, 2190 Military Road. Meanwhile, there's still lots of summer left, which means there's still time for more campfires. There's an engaging event called Turtle Tales, and it will feature many activities such as song, dance, games, s'more making, naturally, and animal guests. Come on out and bring the whole family for a night of good old-fashioned fun. Registration is $5, and all children must be accompanied by a registered adult. This event is happening on Saturday, August 16th from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. at Long Branch Nature Center at Glen Carlin Park. That's at 625 South Carlin Springs Road. You can register online or just call 703-228-4747. Also, there's an open house at Arlington's Signature Theater. It's a Tony Award-winning nonprofit theater company, and they're holding their annual free open house. Come and celebrate the theater's 30th anniversary with this day full of activities. There will be live performances taking place every 15 minutes, along with classes you can take, previews of their seasonal concerts, fun games, arts and crafts, a family cabaret, and a contest to win tickets to a performance of Stephen Sondheim's Assassins. At the end of the night, you can check out the Broadway on the Plaza concert to close out the activities in grand fashion. This is taking place on Saturday, August 18th at 12 o'clock noon at Signature Theater, 4200 Campbell Avenue. Finally, in CBB, there's a turtle lunch. Kids ages 3 to 6 can come help feed turtles at this event. Participants will enjoy helping prepare food for the turtles and watching them eat. Kids will enjoy the animals as much as the animals will enjoy their meals. This free event is taking place on Tuesday, August 20th from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. at the Long Branch Nature Center at Glen Carlin Park. That's at 625 South Carlin Springs Road. Again, you can register online or you can call 703-228-4747. Once again, thanks to Jordan Kuharski for providing this week's Community Bulletin Board stories. Now, in case you're tired of listening to me, we have Denise Pringle here with a pair of reviews. One of Treasure Island and then of The Producers.
Treasure Island at Cinetic Theater is a new adaptation of Robert Louis Stevenson's novel by another Cinetic husband and wife team, Tori and Dallas Tolentino. Usually we see the founding artistic director and choreographer, Pata and Irina Tershkurishvili, at the helm of Cinetic's productions. The fact that they have stepped aside and let the Tolentinos direct and choreograph this show only proves the depth of the talent pool of the company. Regular contributors Phil Charlwood and Konstantin Lortkipanadze serve as scenic designer and composer, respectively. Most of the action takes place on a very mobile set piece that suggests the deck of a pirate ship. The cast mimics the motion of the ocean waves in their usual finely crafted dance style, set to the ominous music that evokes an oppressive, somber mood. The main change in this new adaptation is that the lead character, Jim Hawkins, has become Jane Hawkins. It is still a coming-of-age story that finds Anne Flowers as Jane, swept up in a search for buried treasure when Billy Bones gives her the treasure map of an infamous pirate named Flint. She will still meet up with the legendary Long John Silver, played by Chris Dell'Eder. He is a one-legged ship's cook who will prove to be a formidable adversary in trying to find the treasure for himself and revealing to her that she is actually Flint's daughter. While many of Cinetic's productions are wordless, Treasure Island has words. They are a blessing in this unusually complicated plot, with its twists and turns and nonstop action. The physicality of the troupe takes center stage in the swashbuckling sword fights and merciless killings by the marauders. An early ambush by pirates seemed especially realistic and terrifying. It actually made the young theater-goer seated in front of me burst into tears and tell his mother that he was scared. Cinetic's policy states that shows are not recommended for children under 3 years of age. In this case, parents might want to know that this show may be frightening for children several years older than that. Treasure Island is at Cinetic Theater through August 18th. Set sail with this cast of cutthroats and buccaneers and experience the exhilaration of pirate life on the high seas. I'm Denise Pringle. Now back to the news desk. The Little Theater of Alexandria begins its season with an exuberant staging of The Producers. Legendary producer Max Bialystock hopes for another Broadway hit until a mousy young accountant Leo Bloom tells him that he could actually become richer with a flop. The two become partners in search to find the worst play, the worst director, and the worst group of actors to assure their money-making scheme comes to fruition. They find the offensive Springtime for Hitler, gain its rights, and sign Roger Debris to direct. Max raises $2 million to produce the musical from his legion of old lady investors, and, to his dismay, winds up with an undeniable hit on his hands. The Producers is a stage musical adapted from his own 1967 film of the same name by the iconic Mel Brooks. It is directed at LTA by Christina Friedgen and choreographed by Stefan Siddig. The large orchestra gets its musical direction by Colin Taylor. The casting at LTA has never been better. Newcomers Steve Cairns and Ryan Phillips portray Max and Leo. Serena Dibb sparkles as Swedish bombshell Ulla. Timothy R. King flames as Carmen Gia. And Chad Ramsey is the ultra-Nazi-loving Franz Liebekind. Brian Lyons-Burke returns to LTA as the hilarious cross-dressing director Roger Debris. The humor of this offensive play within a play depends on the ridiculous accents and caricatures of gays and Nazis. The hilarious moments are too frequent to enumerate. Some highlights are the expressive Phillips portraying the anxiety-ridden eccentricities of Leo Bloom and his little blue blanket. The over-the-top, dressed-in-drag performance of Roger Debris, as well as his turn as a comic Hitler. The sachet of his common-law assistant, Carmen Gia. The hysterically choreographed dance of Max's old lady investors with their walkers. Max's recounting of the whole show in Betrayed, and the chorus of pigeons that accompany Franz in his Ode to Bavaria. The leading lady Ulla is charming as she tantalizes Max and falls in love with Leo. The musical numbers are richly performed with I Want to Be a Producer summing up the theme of the show, and Springtime for Hitler offending just about everyone in the most humorous way possible. The Producers runs at the Little Theater of Alexandria through August 17th. I urge you to see it. It is truly one of the best productions they have ever offered. I'm Denise Pringle. Now back to the news desk.
Many thanks to Denise Pringle for those reviews. Now, news for seniors. This one's called Proactive Planning. It's a lively panel discussion on making a move, making it a positive experience, and it will be presented by a realtor, 2 lawyers, and a move management business owner. This professional presentation will take place on Tuesday, August 13th at 1:00 p.m. at the Walter Reed Senior Center, which is at 2909 16th Street South. To register, just call 703-228-0955. Next up, There's not always much time to select a skilled nursing center for a person who is about to be discharged from the hospital. A list from the discharge nurse, a quick call to several centers, or a rushed tour may not give you the crucial information you need. A representative from the nursing staff at Brandywine Assisted Living will discuss how to evaluate and select a skilled nursing center. That's on Tuesday, August 13th at 11:30 a.m. at the Lee Community and Senior Center, located at 5722 Lee Highway. To register, call 703-228-0555. Next up, estate planning helps protect the family and loved ones by allowing them to know and execute your wishes in a simple manner. Estate planning now can result in huge savings down the road and eliminate unnecessary costs, time, and fees. You can hear an in-depth presentation on this subject on Wednesday, August 14th at 10:30 a.m. at the Lee Community and Senior Center, located at 5722 Lee Highway. To register, just call 703-228-0555. Some news on cancer prevention. Julie Pierce and Marianne Campos are patient navigators from Virginia Hospital Center's Cancer Resource Center. They will discuss the do's and don'ts of cancer prevention, as well as share strategies to lower the risk of cancer. This presentation will be in both English and Spanish. It'll take place on Friday, August 16th at 11 o'clock a.m. at the Arlington Mill Community and Senior Center, located at 909 South Dinwiddie Street. To register, call 703-228-7369. Now, if you're thinking about getting hearing aids, or if you know someone who is, this is another good program to check out. Bonnie O'Leary from the Northern Virginia Resource Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing will discuss types and styles of hearing aids and how they can be used with other listening devices. NVRC is non-profit and does not sell hearing aids. The program is presented from a consumer's perspective and includes the impact of hearing loss. This comprehensive discussion will take place on Monday, August 19th at 1 o'clock p.m. at the Aurora Hills Community and Senior Center, located at 735 18th Street South. To register, call 703-228-5722. And as usual, we want to thank Judy Masabny of OSAP for this week's Senior Stories. Now, before the final wrap-up, we have a second roll-in. This is a kind of a special presentation to get everybody ready for the Arlington County Fair. Well, it's that time again. The Arlington County Fair is returning this year, running from Wednesday, August 14th through Sunday, August 18th. The outdoor attractions are expected to open at 5 o'clock p.m. and remain available until 10 o'clock p.m. They'll follow the same schedule on Thursday, August 15th. Things really get underway on Friday, August 16th, when the outdoor section goes from 2 o'clock p.m. to 11 o'clock p.m. and the indoor section opens at 4 o'clock p.m. and lasts until 10 o'clock p.m. Saturday's indoor schedule goes from 10 o'clock a.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. and the outdoor events go from 10 o'clock a.m. to 11 o'clock p.m. The fair wraps up on Sunday with the indoors going from 11 o'clock a.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. and the outdoors set to operate from 11 o'clock a.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. As with most county fairs, there will be a series of competitive exhibits which include such diverse entries as photography, drawing, painting, knitting, and other forms of artistic expression. And, of course, there will be the county staples of cooking, baking, and farming. people still like to grow things even in 2019. The outdoor attractions include pony rides, pig races, a parade, and, of course, rides, and more rides. Don't forget entertainment. The indoor entertainment typically includes singers, dancers, and musicians, and the acts represent the broad spectrum of talent and culture from the Arlington area. But what about food? Asked no one in particular. Yes, Virginia, there will be food. There will be so many different varieties of food that it would be a real challenge to sample the wares of all the available purveyors, but it would certainly be fun to try. So what else is new? How about a new attraction called Baby Goat Yoga? Because it's a brand new event this year, there's not much we can tell you in advance, but be sure to check it out. You know what they say, no goats, no glory. They also say that getting there is half the fun. Well, there are shuttle services from the Arlington Career Center, I-66 Parking Garage, Pentagon City Metro Station, and Virginia Square Metro Station. In addition, Art Bus 41 and Metro Buses 10B and 23A/23C will also get you there. Biking and walking are also attractive options if you're already in the area. As for parking, well, there is usually some on-street parking to be found in the Alcova Heights neighborhood across Glebe Road, but be prepared to hike 8 to 10 blocks to get to the fair. Once you reach the indoor section, you'll also see lots of booths and displays from a variety of commercial vendors. Some of the offerings are really unusual in their own right, and as for the more conventional vendors, just remember that an advertisement can be a beautiful thing when you really need a certain good or service. So that's it. It's all happening at this year's Arlington County Fair, running from Wednesday, August 14th through Sunday, August 18th at the Thomas Jefferson Community Center, 3501 2nd Street South in good old Arlington. And that wraps it up for this special cobbled together version of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. By next week, they'll hopefully have the power back on, and so will everybody else, and then we can try it all again with the real people. Meanwhile, good night or good day, and have a pleasant week. Goodbye for now.